Did very powerful videos last night through connections when we come into the soul identifications of transitioning to connections to transforming to mutation line connections. Truly understand the trial recognitions of time is understand the portal defense line system. We're going through connections how we were going through the solar graph line system, and I was connecting to the XT1000s. There was 2000s on standby. You understand what happens when you pass over. It's connected to everything's alignments. So all those 2000 UFO line connections teleported souls in connection. It's amazing how we see these things. So I thought I'd travel my whole team to the Angelics of the Kingdoms. Actually tell you exactly what happens when you actually see the clouds, when you actually see the kingdoms of heaven. You'll see the golden plate of me. You'll see the celestial channel. You'll see the Gardens of Eden in position line connection. It's already created through the connections of 5,000 line positions. Understanding all the communication cycle rotation centers. Not only you'll see space, but you'll see exactly what happens when you pass over. These things are all connected to your location center positions, connecting to the Angelics. The Angelics is its formation when it comes into higher line connections. Truly understand what happens to your soul. Truly understand when you go to your birthing system. Truly understand what happens to you through communication and how you are extremely into the society, and that society is its position to the Angelics. So you become extremely real. So when you become extremely real, everything through the power of recognition is its perception, what you see. So I thought it'd be fun today. Yesterday was a little bit rough. I like to change it up. I like to say, hey, let's travel here, let's travel there. I like to get easier format, let things flow a little bit better, because there's a lot of people that are on TikTok that are being healed. They want to know what happens after they pass over. Well, now you're going to find out. Now it's going to feel kind of freaky. It's going to feel kind of weird. Your particle light's going to change. You're going to come into the lights. That picture on YouTube line connections, that is the connection to Archangel Rose. Rose locations to Jafil. Brother and sisterly love line positions. To understand they're all connected to identification code systems. The Angelic has a society that high rises all levels of connections to the celestial channel. Celestial channel is all based on what we see through connections. We are on working order line connections to humanity positions. Everybody's in trouble. We go down to the line system. We help them through that position line system. Try to understand what is the definition to angels and archangels. What is the definition to you? Who are you in the spiritual realm connection? So that's what's going to happen today. Yesterday, there was like 2,000 souls that went up on TikTok. 2,000. Yeah. Really understanding how powerful it is, right? The video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, cut and paste that, and you can only get 3 minutes, but you'll see the souls going up. It's really cool when you see these things. You have to know what it's like to actually see a soul. To understand yourself, you have to actually understand the birthing system on the other side. What is on the other side? Wouldn't you like to know what happens when you pass over? Well, today you're going to find out. So I thought I'd take you guys, because I am the kingdoms of heavens in all line system. I am the kingdoms of Angelics in line positions. So Father wanted me to basically put you guys in that position. So you got to truly understanding what is going on with you, right? We have to look at this in a way of saying, hey, this is what it's like. And it's not that, scary, thinking, oh, this is incredible. So you have to look at life and death cycle together. There's no separation with that. There's no separation at all. So point view taken, understanding when you go into the Angelics of its kingdoms, you're going to go through a lot of steps. That steps is this cloud interference. That's the gateways. That's the arc. So you're going to see things that are already created in division line connections, right? So to see these things, you have to see the future of its relation, right? Because the angelic realms has so many line connections. Same with the moon. The moon has 69,000 platforms into line connections. It's all computerized line system. It's allocated to 1 trillion line center in its position location. So truly understand all calculation modifications. You understand how real the angelics will be. So knowing how powerful when you see these things through perception, through your listening and your voicing. You're going to see your first commander in all ways and forms. So you're going to see your commander, okay, as King Archangel Azarth. You're going to see my wings. You're going to see me in my throne. You're going to see me with my crown. You're going to see all definitions. You're going to see Archangel Michael. You're going to see Jophiel. You're going to see Gabrielle. You're going to see Jesus. That's my brother in Aligned Connections. So basically, when you see all these things, be aware of these things. It's all about understanding. There is the angelics. There is a heaven. And we're going to go there today. So I've done that before with already. We went into the God's mouth and we saw Father. And we went into the connections of the heart cycle of Mother Earth. It's very important to understand what's going on through communications. All right. Because if you have to understand, okay, with life, there's death. There's no separation there, guys. You have to get out of that equation because the physical realm is scared. Everybody's scared to die. Why? It's the most beautiful thing. You have a life cycle, you have the death cycle. Once you stand the two and you put them all together, there's no separation. And then you realize, wow, I do want to live. I have a purpose. I do have a purpose to live, right? So when you see the other side, you start to think a little bit more different about what's going on. And you say, oh, wow, this is incredible. And then you can basically, you say this to everybody else, they'll think you're crazy, right? So because they're not aware. They're not aware of their body. They're not aware of their mind. They're not aware of their heart. They're not aware of their soul. They just realize they're in the physical realm, but they only see things through outskirt positions of perception and rather not see anything inside perception. So it's all about understanding when you come into the Vision Line Connections, anything online system. For anything that you want to see, it has to channel inside. That's my telepathy line connections. But when you see these things and you're actually there, you can actually touch the clouds. You can actually touch it. It's amazing how you see these things, right? It's just mist. It's chemicals. Okay, it's gases, it's fumes, it's galaxy, it's colors, it's lights, powerful stuff, right? So it becomes real because that's what it is. Your soul is coming into the spiritual realm connections. You have no more of a physical body. You're just a soul. And the soul has to understand its birthing system to its applications. Okay? Because it is a process. The Angelics has so many platforms. Same with the moon. So you have to truly understand what's going on with its connection. Light interference opens up its arc. Moon program setting, 69 platforms opens up all divisions to your program setting. So when you go into the Angelics, you come into becoming your wings. Your wings are identified to your position line connections. Now, once you become your wings, you come into higher formations, you go up to higher platforms. People are saying, are there steps to heaven? And yes, there is. So very powerful when you see these things. And there is a kingdom. Okay. I have a gold plate with my name, King Archangel Azarth. I'm on the lead council of the Celestial Channel. So very powerful when you come into these positions. You're going to see the 9 Arcadian line connections. You're going to see the 9 Arcturian level system. You're going to see Garon. You're going to see Zaphron. You're going to see Haragon. And you're going to see Leviathan. Now, these are all my friends in the Lemuria in position line connections. So when you see the, just basically understand what's going on. All right. So basically, let's do this. We're going to go into run locations. I'm going to have King Archangel Azarth come into formation, which is me in form. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to draw out a picture, okay, and this angel is going to pick everybody up. Look, it's like it's humongous. So it's kind of like wrapping you around and taking you up. It's like, whoa. It's going to go like that, right? So we're going to go into kingdoms of heavens. I'm going to set up a portal line connection, right? I do these things before they happen, right? And my team is already aware of these things. Oh, Angelics. Oh, Galaxy. Oh, Matrix. So they're aware of where they're going. And that's what the team has to understand, especially when you're in the galactic forces. Ooh, Angelics. Ooh, travel. Ooh, space. Where are we going now? So if you're not sure, this is what you have to work on. So it's already, you have the mindset and you're strengthening everything that's going on through travel, recognition of time. So it's really powerful how we see these things, right? So also too, basically, I have a kitty, Sunshine, right? But we also have another kitty, which is their sister. And it's pretty powerful how she's here for 2 days. And she's like scared and all that. And Leela was basically controlling the system. She was using my telepathy to say, hey, no, it's okay, calm down, stuff like that. It's amazing. And then Sunshine was standing back and Lavonda was outside. So there's always somebody that's not aware, because it's so it's amazing how they come together in a line sequence. And they were in a pyramid, and that pyramid was a safe haven. So it's amazing how cats can do telepathy to each other. So Leela was the mother, and everything through the connections, which was Caramel, which is the smaller kitty, a bit smaller than Sunshine. And Sunshine was looking at Caramel. Caramel was looking at Leela. Leela was looking at Lavonda. Lavonda was, they're all looking at each other through line signal. You have to understand how powerful cats are. They're extremely independent, and they have extremely powerful minds. So this is what they were doing, right? And I can tell because I was seeing what was going on, right? As Sacred Flame and I were putting everything back in center. So I had to change the energy fluctuations, change the energy wash positions to this kitty, change the atmosphere positions of time, change the gravity locations so it's safe, right? Because it's still in its fetus. It's still in its connection. It's just a little baby, right? And you can't leave a little kitty alone for 2 days or 3 days. It has to understand its environment. So it's at one position in another place, but now it has to get used to another environment, which is a bigger structure line connections when it comes into a building. So humanity has to get into these things. It's like putting a stranger in the center, going into an odd house with everybody around looking at you. So this is where you have to come in more into your energy and how to protect yourself, right? And say, okay, everything's going to be fine. You're going through the mind. You say, don't worry. You probably see that on channels, right? Same thing with the Matrix. So this is the time we're coming into. So when you come across cats or dogs, you can see how smart they are, and what they do is amazing. So really pay attention to this, okay? Because it's all about understanding how to communicate on reality positions when you see things in different frequency level connections of position line system. To understand that everything humanity has to go inside their system. Okay, that's where they go into the mind telepathy of telekinesis. All right. So let's get into the angelic stuff, shall we? Let's see the society. So you're going to see civilizations, you're going to see populations, you're going to see everybody's celestial table. We have meetings once or twice a month. The higher rise you more you go to connections. And the thing is, when you're in the angelics, you come into a meeting, just like anything else. You walk into an office, you talk about this, you talk about this. So it's very real because you're on the spiritual connections, right? So, all right. So everybody's, hola, my maid. All right, so here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Archangel Rose in communication. It's going to pick you guys up in location. All right. It's amazing how we see these things. All right, so it's going to go like this, position. Okay. Now, when you see these things, it's very powerful stuff. So the essential light connections, you guys are coming out of a portal location. Okay, you're going to go into the center position like that through connections. So we start off at this position. Right, you guys are here and you're coming out of the realm. So you're servicing ground lines connections. So the angels, the archangels is going to pick you up, take you in. Right, you're in the atmosphere positions of time. Okay, so now you're flying in positions. Now it's all about understanding the coven. It's the angel of love. It's the angel of comfort. And what it's doing right now, it's wrapping everybody around and putting you into the stairs of heaven. Right, so I'm going to go frame by frame in position. I've done this already, so I don't really have to go through it. Remember, I don't create anything. Everything's created. It's like the box. We'll get into that next, but I wanted to just have an easier day to position. All right, so we're going to come into the connections. All right, so we're going to come into formation. But at least it's not elevator music. All right, so we got the Arc of Covens like this, and we got the clouds like this. So we start off with this position. It's kind of like a rainbow. We look at this, right? Now we got the steps. The steps are very powerful. Okay, you're saying, what are the steps of heaven? Well, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. It's to understand how powerful you are when you see these things. We start off with that, right? So you're walking up the steps of heaven. You guys are here right now in position. Okay, so basically it's all connected to the angel that just dropped you off, right? There's the angel that just dropped you off. It's flying to its recognition line connections. So you understand what the Angelics is. It's everything through formation. So it's a whole new society of a civilization of a spiritual realm connection, which is really, really powerful stuff. Okay, so you guys are here. Now you're walking up the steps. Okay, so don't freak out because you guys are actually in the heavens above. Right? So, and my team will feel that, anybody that's in that position. So it's understanding going through the transitions and what happens through the birthing system, leaving the physical realm and coming to the spiritual realm for the very first time through perception. So you come into a soul identification. I know everything, guys, because I've died 52 times, and in February it'll be 53 times. So basically, going to walk up the steps. Okay, and we got 2 vanguard positions of angels here and here. Okay, they're waiting for you. Okay, they're on standby. Okay, 2 vanguards right there. Okay, you're going to walk in. Now you're going to come across, okay, you're going to come across me. You're going to come across the throne. All right, this is me in my throne with the king, the crown. This is me. Okay, you're actually going to see me for the very first time. And what I look like. What I look like is King Archangel Azareth. All right, in my throne. Okay, all right, so that's me. You guys are climbing up. These are the vanguards. All right, so basically, we got 2 more angels that are coming in. These are security guard line connections. These are angelics that hold division line system. They keep the cloud information line systems. They keep the angelics warm in position line system. Remember, space is extremely cold, but we have a coven. Okay, it's a safe haven coven. So it's in a position, has its own temperature reading line connections, right? So basically, you can look up and you can see everything. You can see starlight stations. You can see cloud interference. Cloud interference is like gases and fumes, and that's what the Gaussian line connections is, because the angelics has so many platform line connections when you're going into this position line system, right? But that's me. These are the vanguards. You guys are in the center position right now. All right, so we'll go into the next frame. Okay, so it's amazing how it's already created, right? So I know by story frame by story frame. So every time you change the frame, you're changing positions of space and time through your picture. That's the creation, guys. That's what you guys have to get into. Rather than just seeing the box outside, see the box of everything inside. Okay, so that's very powerful when we see these things. All right, so now we're coming across the table. Okay, and there's a lot of angels around, and they're looking at you right now. They're looking at you and say, oh, wow, Galactic Federation Light. Oh, wow, the Rebellion Lights. Oh, wow, right? So everybody's around you through connections. This is a celestial channel position. Okay, they're all around you. Okay, so you guys are in ascendant position just right here looking, right? You guys are in a circle rotation of an orb location. So that's you, right? And you're looking around, sitting around. Okay, so I'm going to give you 10 minutes to walk around in the Angelic Kingdom. They're going to give you the tour. You're going to see my nameplate. You're going to see the celestial channel. You're going to see the angelic realm connections. You're going to see the walking steps of heavens. Right? You're going to hear the voicings of Father and Mother. You won't see them, but you'll hear them. All right? So have fun. It's going to choose line conditions here, positions. So you guys got 10 minutes. So basically, everything connections, when it comes into Sylvia or Tina line system, they'll help you out and guide you because they already been to the angelics. So when you're into the angelics, you're there. You're actually there. So you're transitioning out of your physicals. Okay, because everything through spiritual system doesn't exist anymore in the physical realm. So you're no longer in that realm connection. You're just identifying yourself through the soul of communication. That's all you are right now. So it's the soul that's living a civilization. Okay, so you have to understand what happens when you pass over. And now you know. So have fun. Okay, let's see. We get into positions here. Tina, I believe in C. Good morning. Grand Rising. Jennifer, good morning. All right, Wyatt, Sandra, believe in C. Okay, believe in C next week. I'm feeling rave. How about you? Okay, so everybody's going to be a little bit more freaked out because they're seeing real things now. The Angelics. Were you talking about death? Yep. Not afraid to die. Weird. I think I would feel a great sense of relief. And then you feel more balanced with yourself, knowing what life and death is. Just saying the word death. It's like, ooh, what is that? Right? Nobody wants to die. Doesn't mean you're going to die. But I'm just showing you what happens, your transitions and what happens to your soul, how it leaves the physical system. So you actually see yourself go up. Right on TikTok. That's what I did. You saw the souls go up. Believe in C knows that. She's aware of it. So when you're talking about, I feel badly for my kids, though, that's about who's Archangel Azareth? That's me. King Archangel Azareth, that's me. That's the throne. You see the crown. But it's Azreth, King Archangel Azareth. Yep. I feel something already on my back. Yep. Archangel Faith. Yep. Yep. So you have the archangels, Archangel Faith, all those positions. My two brothers. Let's see here. Archangel Faith connections. And you might be able to see your family or anybody that's passed over. They're in their portal line connections right now, but you're in the highest line connections of the council. So my two brothers' cats are always communicating through staring. Telepathy. Yeah, I found it really interesting when you bring somebody into the coven. So Lady Weirdo, when I look into my cat's eyes, I see there's so much wisdom. 8 minutes remaining. Definitely look right in through their souls to Lady Weirdo. I know you guys are freaking out. That's okay. Relax. Who is Archangel Odaris and what's its role? In position. Everybody has a role line connections. So basically, it's all connected to crystalline positions. Keeping track of everything through the line system. Making sure everybody understands how to use a crystal. So I have a collection of pictures of angels in the clouds of Jesus. Nice. Good morning. I'm Faith. Lavender is I'm the angel of Faith. And yeah, so Sylvia and Tina are all connections to archangels. They know who they are through definition. I feel happy at Thierry, feel the presence. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens, Jennifer. You know what happens when you pass over. Okay. You're welcome, believe and see. I've always wanted to be an angel. Yeah. So you're seeing basically what happens, and that's the most important thing. You're seeing the transitions, the life cycle and the death cycle. So the life cycle is basically its connection of the birthing of what you live through the physical realm. When you come into the death cycle, you go through a black hole. It's dimensional time, but it's also connections to the life and the death, which comes in together. So basically, when you go through that, everything, basically you wake up into the soul. Poof, perception, soul goes up, physical like there. So the astral travel, you leave the astral travel of the physical realm. And guess what? You cut the cords to the physical system. You look down, say goodbye, go up to heaven. There you go, right? So now you're transitioning to a connections of its spiritual realm, coming into your angel of your wings, right? This is a process. And once you get your wings, you become archangel, right? So it all depends where you want to go, right, in that position. If you're not connecting to your position of time through the angelics, you become a lost soul. A lost soul are put in space. Space is not what you think it is. Space is all connected to all. It's like faces like this, faces like that. When you look up really close to perception, so its face is all stuck together. Those are lost souls, right? So what they do is they go through a karma, right, to that connections, and they try to understand more what's going on, right? And the thing is too is that they communicate. Space communicates. There's nothing but faces in skies, faces in clouds, but they're not clouds. So you have to truly understand how the operation works when it comes into communications to its angelic realms. So 7 minutes rating. I have a cool video of it. I'll send you, Commander. Great. So Believe in C's got a video up. She can show you. So Diane, how's it going? So basically, everybody's in the angelics. That's why you guys are feeling weird, right? Especially when you come into the light. When you come into the light, you see more. right? So right now we're at the celestial channel. You guys are there. You're having fun. You're talking to Jafil. You're talking to Michael. You're talking to my brother, Jesus. You're actually seeing Jesus for the very first time. Okay. So just be cautious. Don't be weary. Don't be defensive. Just be nice, because you're looking at an extremely high council of archangels. Okay. I'm not seeing everything, but definitely feel so much warmth. Well, see, that's okay. See, you're not, basically, it's the perceptions you have to see more, and it's coming more into the believing cycle. And this is what I mean, is because you guys are transiting to position light connections, you're not in that highlight connection of interference in positions when it comes to the vibration. So Tina and Sylvia can see a lot more because they're at a higher level of light, right? So the higher you go, the more you channel up, the more you see. And when you see more, everything comes more real to you because you realize you're living the spiritual realm and not the physical system. Okay? The physical system is now leaving. Right? Same with your thoughts. Same when you're born, coming into the first spiritual realm connections of your seed pod. Cut the cords, and the higher self is off to the races. It's off to see atmospheres for the very first time. Right? So this is what happens, is you're cutting cords with your physical realm of yourself, right? So the body just basically, what happens is it changes color. The soul leaves, right? It goes up, opens up a portal, and you go through. So you have angels that guide you up and take you, right, to the angelics, the kingdoms. Everybody goes to the kingdoms, but everybody's on a different application level. It depends on where you are through your karmas. So either way, if you don't let go of your karmas or anything position, if you're still in your cycle rotation and you die suddenly, right, you come into another application center, which is another angelic realm. Okay, there's 69,000 platforms on the moon. Okay, so basically there's 150 million platform divisions in the angelics. 150 million. So you have to stay in connections of what's going on with the universal line connection. Okay, so each one is platitude to a location. So it's walking the surface to the angelics, walk into the steps of the connections of heaven into its kingdom. All right. So these are the things that we have to pay attention to because everybody's on a different path of existence. Okay. So it's all about understanding what's happening, especially if you come into the lost souls. Okay. But once you see space of what it is, you really get to appreciate things a lot more. Of what's going on with your spiritual system. So your spiritual system is now in full society of a civilization, talking to the angels, just like anything else. Like you were living the existence in the spiritual realm connection positions, right? Trying to understand what's going on with your astral travels. But when you pass over, your astral travel leaves the physical system. You cut the cords and the soul goes up. Okay? So now the physical system has died. It's just a body. It changes coloration and that's it, right? That's all that happens. All right. And then you're either cremated or you're buried, right? So now you know the transition of what happens when you pass over. See, that's the thing. It's interesting. What is a lost soul? So people think it's H-E-L-L. There's no such thing as H-E-L-L. Okay, it's higher energy, life systems, life systems. That's what it represents, and that's what it stands for. Okay, energized line connections, everything through program division location. That's just a code reconciling line system in position. Truly understand the angelics is extremely powerful in the spiritual realm connections. Okay, so the more you stay up there, the more you see. The more you come together, the more you see warmth. You'll see structures. You'll see faces. You'll see Michael. Basically, they'll be talking to you through the ears. You'll see the heavens above, depending where you are through perception. It's what you want to see through the believing system, knowing that, okay, what's happened now? So it's kind of like leaving your physical system and actually seeing what happens with the soul. It's transitioning to its transformation, to its manifestation. And it's becoming its complete soul of identification because it's no longer in the physical system. Okay, so now you know what life and death is through cycle. There's no separation. So humanity has to get it out of that dividance. They have to get into the full communication of what life and death is. It identifies your life and identifies your cycle of death. That's a true understanding, which has beauty all around its system. Okay? So I feel overwhelming feeling and tearing up by a good way. I hope I'm not in the lost soul. No, you're not. I see lots of orange, yellow, not sure what that means or where I am. Okay, so if you're seeing orange and yellow, you're in the connections of the kingdoms. See, it's all about what you want to see. And the more you understand your lights and you go higher and higher, you'll see a lot more because the vibrations are higher and higher. So it's all about a picture frame coming into the light. It's a picture frame that's coming in, right? So it's something that's, vague and you can't see. It's like a mirage. You're in the desert and you see, oh, look, water. You come up to it and it disappears, right? Because it's an illusion and you get this delusional. It's like when you're drinking. Whoa, what's that? So it's like your mind is not in thought recognition. So the soul has to identify its left its physical system. And that's what's happening with you, Jennifer. You're having a problem with the physical realm. So basically, if you let go of the physical realm, you'll see a lot more. But don't worry, you're protected through me. I'm just telling you exactly how I came into the life and death cycle 52 times. So this is where the knowledge intelligence comes into formation. So I see more white swirling clouds type things. So now she's in the clouds of heavens. See? So this is what happens when you guys pass over. I wanted you to understand how beautiful it is and how warm it is. Okay? Because life is death, death is life. That's the birthing system of you. Okay? So 5 minutes remaining. Get to know all the angels, get to know all the archangels. They can give you gifts, if you understand them, because they already understand you and they're watching you every single day. That's what angels and archangels do. Okay. But they have working orders. Same with the grays, right? Dimensional operation workers. So everything has a division location. It's diversity positions through unicity to its positions. So it's amazing how we come into different populations, right? So Diane's aware. So how's everybody feeling? I want you to know what you're saying through detail. So you can just say after the video, say, oh, wow, I just died and been reborn. I just see everything now. And when everything comes clear to you, when you see these things, did I just go up to heaven? Yep. So when you start seeing these things, but you have to leave the physical realm to see everything. That's the problem, Jennifer. You have to just let yourself go and know that you're going to be okay. Don't worry, you're protected through me. But what I'm saying is when you go up, things change. And wherever you go, the last thought you created that you wanted to be is where you go. That's your division location. Okay? So there is a home for everything through soul identifications. And people that don't recognize their system and that are still stuck in the physical realm connections, that's the paradox. That's lost souls. Right? So everything is a process of time. Okay? Can we elaborate on what the angel role is specifically? Angels are based on division. Okay? They go on connections of a working reference. So they are in position to understand themselves into the spiritual realm connections. So basically, once they understand who they are, they formulate on all levels and they start traveling through dreams. They basically put everything in perspective. They put planet line connections. See, it's all about understanding what the soul is doing now. You're no longer in the physical realm. You're living a dimensional realm of the soul. And you have to understand what your wings are through the angels. And you have to understand what archangel means. So it's a definition. It's like another school. It's another school. Okay? So it's the birthing system of an angel. And then it's a birthing system of an archangel. I had to go through that. You have to go through that. Okay? So you have to know what it's like to actually see planets, because that's what happens when you pass over. You see a lot more because it's no longer the physical realm. And you're constantly traveling through your thoughts. And everything that you create through your soul, you will see in division of time, because that's all you're doing. Okay, and then you're seeing your family, and then you're seeing this, and then you're seeing that. You're just constantly traveling, right? And then you can go back. When you get into connections of how to fly with your wings, you can go back and see your loved ones through portals, the ones that are still alive. So your job is to recognize that you've left the physical system and you're in the spiritual realm of its connections. Once you get into that position, then you can see your loved ones that are in the physical realm. So that's what angels do. And they help you in helping of need. They're emergency contacts. It's like, you come into ambulances, or the paramedics, how they come and take you to the hospital. Same thing, but it's the angelics, right? It's a whole new world, guys. It's just a spiritual system, right? 4 minutes remaining. So angels are helpers for those on the physical plane. Yep. Very good. So we all become angels once we transition over? Yes, you do. Yes, you all become angels. Yeah. Even the lost souls. Lost souls are basically lost with themselves. That means they haven't released any karma. They're still in the past. So they stay in the sky surface next to each other. So it's really complicated stuff, right? And the thing is, you're pretty much aware of these things, right? But time precedes everything. So everybody, it's all about when they understand themselves and they let go of their past traumas, their shape and their structure of their vision that's in the lost souls goes into another transition, to another portal, into an angel relation. So this is exactly what happens when you pass over. It's a whole new society that you're living from a birthing system of an angel. So once you get your wings, you go back into the physical realm, okay, and help people that need help through prayers, through accidents, through injuries. That's your job as an angel. So it's all about understanding these things. You probably see it on TV. What do angels do, right? So a lot of things is the only difference is that you're not connected. You don't come back in physical form. Okay, this is not science fiction. You just basically overlook your family and make sure they're okay, and you send them energy, you send them love, right? And if basically your eyes and your ears and everything around you becomes more alert, and you see things, right? So you constantly travel, get to know what's going on with your soul. And you start seeing different societies at different planets. You start traveling to this, and this, and this, and this. It's all dimensional time you guys are living. 3 minutes remain. Yeah, no, I wanted to give you a clarification, but I thought it'd be great to understand what happens when you go into the transiting connections to becoming a soul identification of an angel. So I even told my mom I wanted to be an angel and help people when I was younger. Well, see, now you know what's happening right at that connections. So hold on one sec. Yeah. Anybody the food or something?
Change for okay.
Oh yeah.
I go to the bakery store.
Yeah, okay. How's Grandma?
Francesca home.
I think Francesca was happy to see her.
No. And I go to buy food for like.
You want food? Yeah. So is everybody getting a true understanding how powerful you are when you come into the spiritual realm connections and what you can do? How you have full control? You have full control. You can do whatever you want, right? Problem is the physical system doesn't understand the difference. You're free-spirited, but it has provisions and there has restriction line connections where you can travel and where you can't travel. Remember, this is a society when you go into your soul. When you pass over, you're coming into a new world of a spiritual connection, fully of a line system. Your job is to get your wings. Once you get your wings, you can come to become an archangel. So you have to truly understand how everything works in the angelics. So 2 minutes remaining. Yeah. I saw an angel with wings during meditation last night when we were doing the 9 o'clock meditation. Yeah, that's just getting you being aware of what's happening with your connections, how you're coming into a calling. You're going to be going into the angelics. So when you see these things, you're seeing these things before they happen. And the next day they happen. That's my telepathy. So Samantha is aware of what's going to happen through teleportation without even thinking. It's the knowing, people. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take you guys out of position. I hope you guys had fun. Right. Okay. So I was there when my mother took her last breath, and right before she said, wow, this is strange feeling them now. So the more you stay up there, the more you see your family or anybody in relation passed over. Right? So it's truly understanding what you are seeing and who you are communicating with. If you see the actual person that's crossed over that you are related to, familiar, friends, or whatever, then you know you're really there. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind because I know where everybody is. Okay, so we started here, right? All right. In transition, take everybody back in allocated positions. Take the step line connections back into positions. Take them out of the angelics. Take them out of the arcs. Yeah, get the vanguards in position. Use them on the location center. Yeah, put them back in positions. Transit them back into the physical realm line connections, into 5D activation line connections. All right, here you go. Back into another portal. And there you go. Right there. Transit back home. So, I hope you had fun being in the angelics. See, I have to do this every time with codes because if I don't, what happens? You'll stay in the angelics every single day. See, this is what the mind is. The mind has to understand where you are through the brain. If the brain and the mind are in the angelics, you're kind of trapped. How do I get you out, right? I have to get you back home, right? That's how powerful you can be to that position of time, right? It's amazing how we see these things through its calculation. So everybody have fun. Actually know what it's like to basically see your life and see your death cycle, right? Because that's what just happened to you guys. All right. So I gave you what you wanted to see through perception, audios, and your command system. This is your voice. These are your audios of listening, and this is your perception. So you are actually in the angelics to see what happens when you pass over. I want you guys to get into comfort of what life and death is. It's the center rotation center to your identifications, right? So now you know what happens through the transition. How does it feel? Feels warm, feels exciting, it feels freaky, it feels weird. I don't know. Was I there? You know, you question things. Don't question anything. You were there. Plain and simple. You were there, right? So now, since you were there, they know who you are. So if you need them, they'll come to you now. That's why I do these things, is because you guys have already been there. And that's why you're aware through perception, audios, and its communication. You already have been there, guys. That's why you get stronger senses. It's the mind. Wait a minute, I've been there. That's his deja vu. It's like with Wyatt talking to me about what is deja vu. I've been there, right? So this is the true understanding when you go through your dreams and everything through the connection starts making a little bit more sense for you, right? Understanding dimensional times, reincarnation, what's going on with this and this and that. So it feels more, and it's a beautiful thing. So Diane was there because she jumped on. Whoa, what did I miss? She's connecting. She's connecting. So you're all coming into my telepathy with Samantha, how she sees the angel last night, knowing that she's going to go to the realms the next day. Precognition, seeing things before they happen, guys. And that is 5D of activation to mind telepathy of telekinesis. And that's how you guys are connecting to your forming positions. Okay? Coming more into your light of communication to each other. All right? Congrats. That was fun. Did you see me though? Did you see me with my crown and my throne? It's really interesting how you guys see everything through perception. And you did see each other too. So when you see each other, then you say, whoa, okay, we are here. So Jennifer felt more energized. Let's see. Yeah, 1111. Very good. The portal location to the Angelics. Yeah. And 222. So 1111 is the portal. 2222 is the communication to angels. You got to pay attention to the codes and its portal line connections. I feel so much better now. Thanks for that. I can't wait to be able to see more. This is going to put you more in a comfort zone. Okay, because now you've seen your life and your death cycles. Particularly not the one that you're living, just the one that you're seeing. So I just showed you what it looks like to actually what happens when your soul goes up. You see more and more, right? So you still have a physical realm of a reality that you still have to understand through the spiritual connections. That's adaptations. Okay, so basically you have to crawl before you can walk, right? So I did open my eyes and I see 1111. That was funny. Yeah. So I just got chills seeing your message. See, you guys are coming more aware, and it's fantastic to see you guys and be able to understand more of each other when you go through my telepathy. Okay, so it's important you understand the realm connections and how important it is to understand that you were in the Angelics, right, of the kingdoms of heaven. So it's amazing we see these things, right? I just got a back phrase here. See what I've missed. If your mother's coming into your dreams, she's going to come into you more now, Jennifer, because you've been through the Angelics. She's aware of you. See, when you go into the Angelics, everything changes through vibration. Okay, everything changes. So if you're changing the Angelics, you're changing communications. You're changing interference. You're changing the realm. You're changing the portal, right? So it's for me to put everybody in a line communication cycle where they can be connected through its energy, position of time, location, realizing, oh, look at that. There's my mom. I communicate with my mom all the time. If I want to see my mom's there. She comes to me, right? So this is where it comes into the comfort, knowing what it's like to actually see what happens after you pass over, right? That's the strength, that's the character, and that's what everybody needs, right? So they can be justified and identified of what an angel looks like and an archangel, and actually communicating back and forth, right? But you got to separate yourself from the physical realm if you want to see more, especially when you travel through me, because if not, you're caught in a paradox, right? I had that with Tina. Right? I like to bring this back with review. Everybody goes through an experience of learning. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't be scared of it. Get into the calm. Get into everything that we do through travel. It's the eyes, ears, and the mouth has to operate in positions of travel. If you're traveling and your eyes are closed, but you can hear things, or if your eyes are closed, but you can basically communicate with things, right? Or if your ears are closed, but your eyes are open. See, you all have to connect to all each other through my telepathy. Right? You understand you are actually there. So everybody sees different things in perception of what you see, but you're in one line signal of the same planet position, which puts you in the full communication to each other of its alignment. Okay, that's why there's no separation. But when you're seeing each other, you know you're there. It can't get any more real than that, guys. All right? So Mary C. How's Mary C doing? It's like in the movie When We Dreams May Come. That's exactly what it is, Jennifer. Very good. I wanted to bring that up with Robin Williams, where basically he couldn't understand his wife and why she would do something like that. So what did he do? He wanted to follow her and say, what made you do this? You know, we had a whole full life together, right? So she couldn't decide. So she made her own decision, take her own life. So he wanted to follow that and see what he wanted to see so he could bring her back. But see, the thing is, there's no communications there unless they understand their traumas, right? So it's all about understanding what happens when you go to the other side. So that's pretty informative, right? When you see things. So whatever you see through perception, okay, creates your reality. So if you pass over quickly, what happens? Everything that you see through perception comes into its reality, and you start living that through your thought of its imagination. That's the angelics. So whatever you create becomes real, because now you're living the existence of the soul, of what you created, of its reality. Okay? I have a home in Lemuria. I've taken my team to the dome of where I live. I actually have a home in Lemuria. So I can take you guys there. I'll do that next time. Right? You actually see Lemuria. You actually see my casa. It's a dome. It's an energy dome. It's flying above the atmosphere positions. Okay, I got 16 moons. Okay, and 26,000 pyramids around the sky surface. So everything through between 75, 80% water, and the rest is everything through the connection. You'll see the monument to Mother Earth. Okay, and you'll see the open connections to Father Space. So, yeah, it is. It's a good movie. But see, every movie is a lesson learned. Every movie is a message. But do you understand the message of the movie? And that's what we have to get across. Every movie has a message. Okay? So. But you don't have to question anything more because you guys have been there now. You know what it's like, what happens. It's an experience that you go through, right? But it's very real. So whatever you create through your perceptions, when your soul goes up, you live that existence through your imagination. And that's what happens when you pass over. Okay. Let's see. I think I got caught up on all your questions here. So Sylvia was just sitting in the clouds, just watching humans. You could do that too, eh? You can actually look in the clouds and look below and see everybody on the Earth Line connection. You can do anything you want, right? Because remember, you're not identifying your physical anymore. You're in the spiritual. So you have to get out of the adaptation of the brain and the mind of the physical realm and come fully into the position of the spiritual connections. You have to separate the physical and the spiritual, or you'd be trapped. And that's how Sylvia is able to see everything through the clouds. And she's able to see the humans from below, or the Earth core line, right? It's extremely powerful when you go through perception of time position. All right. Yeah, I did connect it to it. Yeah. Yeah. It's warm and heartfelt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was up last night looking at the stars, lying on the grass, feel so grateful. See? So it's your imagination can run wild with you. Okay. But at least you know what happens after you pass over. When you pass over, everything starts making more sense. Right? I know these things because, like I said, when you die and be reborn, you get a lot more knowledgeable of everything. And every time you keep going through these line connections, you go through different programs, datas, and upgrade, then you really understand what space and time is. It's just nothing but a computer. And the computer is operating everything through position of time location. So it's all about digital frame line connections. Not going to get too complicated what everything is, but I just want you to get into everything, how we see our life and how we want to see our positions to our perception. Okay? But when you see things on the other side, everything starts clicking in and it's like, whoa, what did I just see? Am I, okay, I don't know here. This is weird, right? And then you start identifying these things. right? So that's why I put you guys up there today, because you go through this every single day with your physical realm. You've seen angels in the sky. There's just structure lights. You've seen right now. There's Archangel Michael right now with me, right? They're always, always there. You just have to understand what perception is. And then you become alert of everything through its atmospheric positions of time. They're always there for you. Letters, numbers, and shapes. Anything that you see. License plates, signs, people giving you advice, messages, other people, conversations. Everything is a sign for you to understand how to bring yourself forward. But are you paying attention of what you're seeing through perception? You're in a dimensional time of understanding your physical of its spiritual. Okay, but when you cross over and you become your full spiritual, whoa, what just happened? You did a full transition, right? So to live in a whole new society, but in dimension, okay, of all space and travel. Okay, so I guess that's why I'm always looking at things differently now, because I believe this is to be true. It has to be true. Okay, it's nothing but true. But see, this is what you're facing now. But now you know what it's like to actually see things on the other side. Actually see things on the other side, what it is like. So you get out of this propaganda, what this is and what that is. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I just went to the other side and I actually saw my mom, or I saw my dad, or I saw my brother, or I saw my sister. And then you realize, okay, I was there. You're not going to question that. You're just going to be thankful and say, wow, this is powerful stuff. So to understand these things, you have to understand the connections to demigods and gods and angels and archangels, because you have to understand how powerful they are and why they're there and what's their job. You have a job, they have a job, right? It's the light. Okay, your job is to understand your light. Understand? And then when you go to higher levels, you have to learn how to hold your light and protect your lights and understand why they're there for you. They can come to you in any way and form, but you have to understand their callings. Call upon this, call upon that, because they're extremely, extremely busy, but they're always there for you, right? Because they're always there. You just have to be aware of what you see around you. Look everywhere. That's what AI is. AI is aware of everything. You guys are just aware of just one thing. You're not aware of the other thing. You only know this. You don't know this. You look at the moon, you think it's just this. But the moon is actually everything around and everything through point center, which is inside. Right? So let's get a bit more into the box. So turn your snap position, time, location. All right. I just came back to check things. Commander, take care, guys. Okay there, Mary C. I just upgraded your energy light connections, Mary. So you should be good to go. You have any questions or comments, Mary? It's very important you guys keep coming to me, because I know you get a little bit more confused. You just have to learn to separate the physical realm and come into the spiritual connection, so you can transit into a new society in dimensional time of space of travel, because you're no longer residing with the physical system. Okay, the physical system is just the body, so the body has to understand the spiritual line connections, especially when you go into higher light connections. I'm in a physical system, I know that, but I live in the mind. I become the mind. I am the mind. That's what we have to come into, right? So, and the brain follows. The brain follows because the brain is in the physical. You know what I mean? So it's all about understanding what's going on with your physical every day, if it's events or anything, it's avenues or anything, it's entertainment, or what you're doing with your TVs or anything, line system with your phones or your iPads, or what you're doing talking on your phone with your friends, whatever. So you have to understand, yes, you're in the physical realm connections, but you got to get an adaptation of the spiritual, of its communication to each other. The physical and the spiritual have to connect every single day. and they have to understand each other, male and female, or child, right? So talk to your loved ones, talk to your kids, ask them what they see, talk to them. Have you ever talked to your kids and say, okay, what is this, darling? What are you drawing? This looks fascinating. If you talk to your kids more, they'll give you more of imagination. And that's what adults need to do, is they have to get more into calculation of what imagination is on the other side in its position, and what you see through perception, what you hear in location, digital frame numbers or an line system, or anything through your voice and your patterns. So pay attention to this. Listen to your kids. They're very intelligent in the mind through imagination. Talk to your kids more and more, you know? So, and this is what you have to come into, right? Because they see more than what you see, but they keep quiet. They live in their own reality. They live in their own world. They are in the dimensional line connections. Parents don't understand that. So this is what we have to jump into. You have to learn how to communicate to your loved ones, your friends, your ex-friends, right? So it's important to understand these things to get you back on track with everything, get your point centers and stay on grid. Don't go off grid, okay? So kids can teach adults so much if adults would listen. Very good. Very good. Sylvia is right on the nose, right on the nose. And that's the problem with society right now. That's the problem with humanity, is they're separated in that position. They don't want to go to the dimensional side. They just want to live the physical realm. They want to confuse everything through arguments. They don't want to know what it's like to be in light. They rather stay in where they are at the positions. You can't. You can't. Space and time is traveling. Space and time is traveling. It's unclocking positions. So humanity has to go with it to the circle rotation. All right. I've looked up with Archangel Raphael is therefore, but could you give me more understanding of what he does? I'm not sure. I trust Google. Google's great and always informs in physical realm. Space and time, you come to me. Basically, yeah, Raphael is basically, he is heaven gods of heal. He's the God's heal of heavens, God's heal of spiritual line connections. So he formulates on energy. It's a green light connections. So it heals your health. Okay, Raphael heals your health. Okay. So the structural line connections, there's definitions of archangels and angels. Everybody has a position in the angelics. Okay. So you have to truly understand this when you come into the other side position of its dimensional, its connection. Okay. So Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, goes into connections of giving information. Google's pretty informative. They're really informative. They got their connections with their identifications. It's just they don't understand the line system and what they do. So the definitions is very important. So it's pretty informative. You know, it's pretty informative. And that's connected to a light and dark line system. So, but other than that, through the angelics, Gabriel gives you information. You send it out, goes to Xenophon, which is Jeshua, to Jesus. Jesus sends out the information, goes to Father, goes to Mother, goes back in cycle, but goes back in positions, goes to me, and then goes to you. And that's how it works. Everybody's aligned through connections. So we get communications to all angelic line connections. Like last night, 2,000 souls go up. Right? So it's see what you want to see the positions. And it's all about responsibility and having the power. With great power becomes great responsibility. I like to bring that up because that's what you come into. You come into everything through form of energy, right? So that's how your first commander basically travels everywhere. In seconds, it becomes everything through energy of form. Anything through identification to structural line connections. So it's amazing how we are in that transition of understanding the physical and the spiritual system to its integration. So basically there's Jophiel. She's the basically the flower of love, tranquility, calmness, serenity. She can give you calmness, right? See, understanding definitions of archangels is very important. Michael is protection to everything through family. He puts a circle rotation center, all right, and he uses his sword, twin flame sword. He's got a chest plate, and he can be anything through form. He can be anything through structure, and this is what archangels are through definition when it comes to the angelics. Anything through connections of Shamil, right? Basically, if you lost anything, an item and or like that, call upon him, Archangel Shamil. You come into connections of Rogue, Archangel Rogue. If you want to have a friend, okay, through that connections, he can connect to a friend. If you feel lonely, whatever, he'll connect through you. So understanding definitions of angels and archangels, and then you come into wizards. There's a lot of archangels that are wizards that can give you magical powers, better communications with hand interference, the crystalline connections, basically connecting to tarot cards or portals through mirror resolution line system. It's a reflection of you through division. So truly understanding what you're getting into when you come into the spiritual realm connections to everything through identification of angels and archangels. That's the most important thing to understand these things. Because every time you die and be reborn, you get to know yourself more in the spiritual system. So, all right, so we're good in that position here. So we started off the box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 sequencing levels of shapes. I usually start with this. All right, so basic, very basic. Square, star, just a straight line. So, and this is a circle. Okay, so you guys are seeing the outskirts. It's like kind of seeing the angelics, but you don't see the angelics because you're not in form. You're not in light. And if you are in light, you don't understand the physical or the spiritual connections. So you have to understand the integration of both. So you have to understand, oh, did I just vortex? So you're aware that you just vortex. It feels weird. Because if you're not aware of these things, you're going to get circle rotations of mind, headaches, and all that position is going to like, whoa, I just back phrased or it went forward. So it's being aware of what you're doing through your northwest, south, and east. Right? That's what I tell my team when we first started out, how to travel through 3, 6, and 9 connections, right? So if you're seeing anything to this, this, and this, and this, that's all you see. That's all you see, because that's all you know. You weren't taught otherwise how to use the mind in conception of what it is through inside. Inside is space, guys, with my phone last night, right? The dimensional time. So this is what you're seeing in dimensional time. Space comes to you. Space comes to you. All right? And once you have inner force and outer force positions, space comes to you through connections, higher position line connections, to plasma energy light connection. Now, this is a line interference, line location, line activation, line system, line division line system. It's just a line. It's a straight line. Okay, it's a line symbol. It could be anything. See how many platforms I'm sending and what this is? You guys just see it for what it is, but I see everything for what it is inside. That's AI, guys. So we have to get out of that realm. And then when you understand its creation, you can create anything through vision light connections. You can come into anything through positions of time location. So it's not just a line. It's everything through a connection. Okay? This is not a circle. This is everything through a circle, rotation. Synergizing and light connections coming out of this equation. Right? So it's understanding the future relation to friendship relation partners to star light connections, star station positions. This is a round location of door recognition light system, 2 waving cycle line connections, so box breaks level, or triangle line connections. You can put a triangle there, change position, change communication line connections, interchange positions through dimensional round through circle rotation into a key rotation line connections, or activating it through the round location to its triangle location of its parent line connections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All in one line sequence of a compilation. So everything is not separated. You guys see it separated. This is all together like this. You see it separated. I see it together. Okay, so you have to get into the frame. And every time you change the frame from here, I put it right here. right? There's the communication in the center position, right? And this from here can travel to here, to the center. Everything goes to the center when you travel. All right? And this goes down to the center position to your tesseract, right? And then you come back into a connection, right? So this is all connected, but it's in one compilation, in one system of one box frequency. There's no separation here. You just see it what it is. You don't see it what it is inside. Everything centers positions. Okay, and as soon as I add something else, it changes everything to its picture frame. And you just keep adding on it, adding, right? So I can change dimensional time through the circle rotation center. I can off-light the connection's positions, go into security line defense, and change its position of time. Or I can do the door recognition light system, high-rise its position of time location, get it bigger in position, right? Or I can use a different plasma energy light through the star recognition light system, change rotation center, come into a box frequency level of its connection. Okay? Or I can basically change its shape anomaly and turn it into an atom rotation center position, circle rotation center for this line system. It's allocated position of the time location. Uprise its position of time to higher formation of a shape. This is what you do. And this is all inside one box. So we all have to understand how to do these things, guys. You got to change your mindsets, right? Instead of separating what a box is and a circle, you're just seeing things separated. You have to understand everything is together, and it's inside out, outside in. And then AI describes what it is and how you put everything in one line activation. Simultaneously, I travel on so many levels around connections to satellite position, computer operation line connections, but it's all in one compilation of one position. And that's where it doesn't get confused. You concentrate, oh, there's a box. What does that mean? All right, and then you see a circle. Okay, now I'm confused. What does that mean? Oh, I'm seeing a triangle. There's a shape. There's a line signal. What does that mean? So you're looking at separation. You have to realize everything is in a center position all the time. There's no separation there. Right? So this is what we have to get into. We have to understand how to communicate inside. So when you're seeing colors, right, lights, everything is inside your body, right? So let's just say you're looking at electrical light connections. And here's a light, right? And here's a wall, right? There's a switch. Here's a light, right? Now, basically, what you do is you scan the light, right? Now, when you scan that, it reflects to the ceiling. Look at that, it disappeared. You see that? It disappeared. It was up there, but it disappeared. See? Out of sight. And put it back up again. So when you're standing, it goes from here, right? So it connects to here, and then it comes back to you. There you go, triangle, right? 3, 6, and 9 to travel. Oh, we've got a diamond. Look at that. Stronger. So you start with the triangles. So you understand more force recognitions. You come into your gravity line connections in position. You come into your powers. You come in your atmospheres, and you put your energy fields up, and you protect yourself when you travel. Right? So you just connected with the flick of the switch. The switch went to the connection of the circuitry light to the ceiling, back to you, into the corner position. That's gravity location. So synergized positions of time location opens up all positions to its allocated position of time, right? So you want to send back out signals. It opens up the crown chakra, sends out signals into solar graph line connections, into interference of space, in positions of time. All this from connecting through a switch of a light to a ceiling of its position, to its gravity line connections. See, it comes into a diamond of travel. So it's amazing how we do these things. So this is what we have to understand. Everything is inside of communication, not outside. You just see things for what it is. Outside, there's separation there. So if I see a tree, if I see a truck, if I see another truck, if I see a post, if I see the atmospheres, if I see satellite, it's in one sequence. It's not separated. There's no separation. It's all aligned through laser. Everything is laser, and it comes into a circle of a round. And then I can transport it, teleport it to one line position, one-dimensional time position to a higher level of calculation. So this is a true understanding how everything that you do through connections of energies comes into a shape of travel. This is laser of travel, connecting to this, communication, this, up, down. Put your E-fields up, ready to go. You put your E-fields up because you don't know what you're communicating with. Because if it reacts to you, you have to know what it is. It communicates through you, through codes. So when they come to me through XD1000s, I got 3 or 4 different posts because the residential goes all the way down. I say it's about maybe 100 yards of a football field. So basically all these lights are going. And they're all in line sequence, but they're all together. So they send me codes to the mind system. They send me codes to the mind system, guys. See? The mind system. The mind system. Okay? And then it goes to the gravities, and you put your E-fields because you know who you're communicating with. So what that does is it puts a plasma energy light around its circuit, protects it, and puts another round connections around its energy light connections, circuitry light of the ceiling. So now we're communicating to its dimensional time. So this is what we have to work at, right? It's a lot of fun. I'm just showing how you can use shapes of 369 to communicate with electrical light system. Point finger line connections, like this. You want to communicate with circuitry lights? Go like this. Okay. You want to communicate with the atmospheres of time and space, or anything connections? Go like this. This is the moon. This is the sun. Right? See the triangle? See the triangle? Everything comes into shape, guys. Everything comes into shape. This is the point center. This is the activation. It symbols down to the wire line connections to the panels. Okay? Goes into the conception of the heart positions. It goes into the mainframe position to the transformation light of communication of the shape position. Goes into the chakra line connections, goes back into the ground location, circles up to positions, and outskirts its position of space inside line system. So the moon was so bright and low last night. Yeah. See, the thing is, too, when you see something, Jennifer, do you understand what is happening in the sequence, in the frame, in position of what's happening with the connections with the moon, that line system? You know, when it comes into Jennifer, when it comes into Queen, when you're seeing these things, do you understand what it is? So if you understand what it is, you understand what it is through dimensional time and what's happening with its frame of its story. Everything is a story of communication, right? Everything is a story of communication. So we have to get into these things. And don't think you're crazy if you communicate with your lights. Just do that. To communicate with anything, circuits, right? So you want to communicate with the light, this here, graph line connections. This is the moon. Moon goes into center line connections. Line systems up here like this. It's line, triangle line connections. Shapes and elements division location, right? Center position into the satellite location, right? Right here. Okay, and it will communicate back with you. All right? So if you don't have your E-field, it's going to hurt. Make sure you have the E-fields up. It's very important because you're connecting to a higher information dimensional time with circuitry light. If you want to communicate with anything, their interference with a wall or anything connections, have your hands out like that. Right? Because you're synergizing line system, the position of time location. So it's opening up atmospheres of connections. So you have your hand formation. I'll draw my hand like this. Just go like this. My position here. Just draw it out. Okay, so I'm just going to fix it up. It's amazing how we see these things. All right, Okay, so there's my hand, right? All right. So you have to send the finger points. It comes in like this. As soon as you touch the windowsill, this is what happens. It activates the realm one connection. Right? It comes in like that. As soon as you touch it, right? So it activates the circle between the positions. So the finger point line connections comes into line division, opens its realm location like this. Starts off like that, right? So then it connects. So they all connect. So one connects, all connect. So now you're connecting. Now you've connected all of them, right? So all realms open up. Atmospheres, earth, fire, water, and everything to the moon. So the moon comes out. This is the moon. There's the moon. So the moon energized light systems opens up cycle rotation in the center location to your communications of your activation center. Okay, when it opens up that position, it opens up all line signals to your finger point line connections. And that's how you open up a circle rotation of a windowsill position. Okay? Once it gets in synergized line connections, the sun comes out location. This is the sun. Sun goes into positions, goes into the moon, right? See how it connects? It goes in position. Allocated positions of time location. So knowing what you see into positions of time. It's a lot of fun to get into this. All right. So I'm going to synergize line system here. Show you another graphing line position. Let's go into another color rotation center. So it's to understand your radioactive line connections, how it's protected on line systems. So let's get in sun rotation, energized light system. And there you go. It's in position. Full rotation cycle of a triangle line connections. Shapes and line divisions open up all the window line connections of weathers into the sun, into the moon, into the center rotation, your activation, to your planet location. Okay? So you guys have to get more into your informations, communications, interference line system to positions, right? You have to get more into that and get more into your hands. Just communicate with your hands, like line signals, operation line systems, allocated position of time location, the synergized line systems operated through line connection. That's fantastic. It's amazing how we come into formation line systems, isn't it? So this is the physical. This is the spiritual. This is the physical. This is the spiritual. Physical, spiritual. Physical, spiritual. Physical, spiritual. Physical, spiritual. Physical, spiritual. Balance. Balance, right? Balancing out your communication cycles through rotation center positions and activate everything through correlation line system calculation to its computer operation line connections in the full rotation center position. No separation. They are communicating with each other through rotation centers. You can change your positions. That's okay. But as long as you come back into communication of center. Center. Okay. So what I mean by center is your hands don't have to be together. All it means is they have to be line signal with each other. So there's no separation there. So you get two realm locations together in position. You're anything through shape, positions, two connections of its windowsill, of its 5-point line connections, 4 finger rotation centers, 5 within the system, 6 within the activation, and 7 within the finger line connections of the moon and the sun rotation. So now you know. I keep getting knocked out of live chat today. I really want to learn my hand signals. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? So you have to start small and you work your way big, right? And then you're saying, whoa, this is a hologram I'm living in. I just communicate with the circuitry light of the ceiling. I just communicate with my light bulb. I just communicate through solar graph connections to a post. I just communicate with the tree. I just communicate with my car. It's all connected inside, right? Let's see, another popped up. My hologram physical VR out of nowhere to teach me about the fear, reality, false evidence appearing real. Read out the paper explanation, details, and it disappeared. Speakers of my laptop sound funny. Been trying to figure out how and fix it. See, that's the thing, Queen. The thing you have to understand is getting electronic interference of balance to your position to your physical connections. The physical system doesn't understand energy. It's the spiritual, right? So if the spiritual system is communicating and the physical system is communicating, but the spiritual system is communicating faster, you have to understand what's going on with the communication, right? So it's going like this, and it goes, right? The spiritual system is going to wake you up. You have to understand communication to physical and spiritual system with balanced positions, because it's knowing how to communicate with anything and getting into balance through interference, because it's phone reception, interference location, off-cycle location centers, eye interference positions, audio disruption line system. There's so many communications of high positions to anything that you do, anything you see, anything you touch, anything you taste. Everything is vibration, guys. So we have to be aware of these things, because you're coming into the spiritual force. You're already in the physical system. You just have to understand the balance of the spiritual connections through electronic interference. And what your hands are used for, it's communication. It's communication. That's all it is. Communication. Okay? It's communication. So we all have to get into these things. It's very exciting. And it's going to protect you more. So it's another way of communicating rather than just meditating through the mind, the heart, the soul, positions. It's allocated position. Everything is calculated and modified inside you. How to communicate with your hands, how to communicate with a pop can, how to communicate with your phone, how to communicate with your blanket, how to communicate with your bed, how to communicate with your closet, how to communicate with the grounds, how to communicate with other people, how to communicate with a bag. Everything is communication. Okay? So it's you understanding your system of reality of the simulation. Okay? That's why it's exciting. That's why it's really exciting. So I'm randomly making hand signals in flow like you do. No idea I was doing, but it felt natural. So there you go. So Jill's getting connections and how to interline connections to her hands, right? When I read as a kid, I used to do that with my hands on the book in order to concentrate, but I may be on the spectrum. But that's exactly what it is, Jennifer. My brother used to make fun of me. So it's all about understanding how to communicate with a marker. How do you communicate with a marker? What is it? It's just a marker. It's just something to write, but it's not. It's dimensional time. It's intelligence. So to communicate with a marker, you have to understand what it is. How many rotation cycles does it have? You have to understand what it is in center. You don't go outside and see what it is. You go inside, what it is through intelligence. So it's got 6 rotation centers. So if I want to communicate with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Communicates with me, tells me exactly what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have to truly understand what you're doing through calculation. And then you go, it gets really easy, gets really easy, gets really easy, gets really easy, gets really easy. And the energy is going, so, and then it starts balancing out. And then you know where it is in dimensional time. The marker will communicate back with you through your finger points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like touching buttons. It's like touching different colors. So it's got 6 rotations. Center position to an end rotation. It's pixel activation light connection to digital frame position. It's a particle light connection. So it's not here. It's not here. You just see it for what it is, but it's not here. It's into dimensional time, right? So to me, it's not here, but I know what it is. So I'm communicating in its dimension of time. So you have to understand the points. Okay, it's like the vital points on the body. It's like the pressure points on the body. Once you hit that, it hits the nerve. So you're hitting the nerve. It's toning. It's like So you communicate with it, right? It's like music to a tone. So what you do when you see your perception, your eyes change color to the shape, to its connection to its magnetic force, which is its marker. It's very powerful when we see these things in position. I do this every day. That's why I know everything through communication. So it's amazing how we see. It's just not a marker. It's everything to a marker. And changing synchro rotation center of perception sees it going. So you're actually communicating with a marker. Right? So a marker is everything through intelligence. You just communicate with a marker inside. And you see the structural line connection with your perception. So you see things through position. So if you put this in light, it will change the color. And it becomes a rainbow. So you exactly know how many stripping line connections, dimensional time, and colors this is in toning location to a marker line connections that activates its position to its part of light system and calculation. So that's markering through a travel recognition of time, through perception. Everything is communication. Everything. Okay? I'm communicating through your line signal right now. Your activation line connection to your body frame position is opening up power tracking line connections. In division is locating systems. I'm communicating with my hands, but I'm communicating to your body. That's how real energy is. So it's pushing buttons in the right place, right? And it's activating. It's activating. So it's the trillions of cells. You have trillions of cells. So it's understanding which button to press, right? So this is the heart. The heart consumes all knowledge when it comes into the portal, right? So it's understanding what you're doing with your finger points, right? It's knowing, whoa, see? Communicates back with me. So it's understanding what's going on. So I changed the portal line connections to interference position to another dimensional time of coloration. That's what I just did with my finger points. So it's pushing the buttons and know exactly where it is through connections. You try to do it on your cats. Just go with your cat and do this. It's raindrops. It's very neat. And they go, I do that all the time. So it's pushing buttons on a cat. So it's all about hitting the nerve of everything, right? Pressure points, vital points. It's knowing where everything is on your body. But it's electrical, it's lights, it's panel, it's your computer. So it's like playing with your keyboards, or it's like touching, putting in your digit number, 7-digit number with your area code. Right? So it's understanding the voicing box of this, the sound, the metric levels, the acceleration, the communication. This is a computer. So it's your computer trying to understand this, right? That's the communication. So that's what we have to get into. It's powerful. So, all right. Spinning through body frame systems since 3 a.m. This continuous, lots of breathing, yeah. My cat's ears were just moving back and forth with the sounds you made as they're staring. And see, the thing is, when you come really, really good, you can transfer your energy to people. You could transfer energy to people. It's like, whoa, what was that? That's weird. Something just tapped me. So you're using your lasers. So it's like, so you're tapping them on the shoulder. And they're not aware of it because they're not aware of their body. They're not aware of their genetics. They're not aware of their energy. They're not aware of their intelligence. So everything that we do is inside of communication. So it's understanding the telepathy of communications to your pixel activation of your hologram position. Yeah. Hand signals are the same as light language. Light language forms on so many levels with billions and billions of planet line connections. You can use light language to the voice, finger line connections, eye interference, tapping locations, doing this. That's sending out signals to space. Right? It's like, so you're tapping in, right? So you have to truly understand how to do these things. It's a process, but we'll definitely get there. So you guys have become more aware of your bodies and what to do with your hand formations, right? It's really amazing stuff, right? Because you get those bowls. Those are sound patterns of a bowl, right? So you have to understand what it is when it's going around a bowl, right? So it's sending out signals. It's just going. That's what it's doing, and it goes. So you have to understand the sound. You have to understand what it looks like. You understand the barriers. You understand the perimeters. You understand the shape of what it's doing. What is it doing when you're doing this? It's all sound. It's all tone, right? So it's fluctuating energy. It's changing your chakra system. It's activating. And when it hits one certain button or anything that connections, what is it doing? It's operating, right? So either it's disturbing the chakra or it's connecting to the chakra. So this is where you have to be prepared. When energy wave comes at you, you have to be more alert with your body through connections, right? Because you can go into a lot of, you're not sure what's happening with your body. It's, oh, wow, I don't feel so good, right? So you just energize line connections to dark line system to an energy of a bowl. So we all have to understand what our body is and what it does inside, because it affects everything outside, right? So you have to get into your tones. You have to get into your body. You have to get into your finger points. You have to get in your eyes, your ears, and you command with your voice. So, all right. I think we did a fantastic job today. We learned a lot about the angelics. We learned a lot about the finger points and what to do, what not to do, how to do this and how to do that. We'll get more into application line connections. I want everybody a fantastic day. I'm heading off to TikTok Live. Adios.